Hello, good evening. Welcome to the University of Leicester's session on how to support a student through clearing and results day. My name's Dan Flatt. I'm the head of UK Student Recruitment and Widening Access here at the University of Leicester. I myself was a student at the university, having graduated in 2012, and I'm still here today helping the university's recruitment and widening access function. I'm also joined by Amy.
Hello. I'm Amy Cooper and I am the Head of Admissions and Applicant Experience here at the University of Leicester. I'm also a graduate of University of Leicester. I graduated in 2007 and I am still here now in the admissions office.
Thanks, Amy. And also to round off our guests for this evening, we also have Kitty, who is one of our students at the university and is a student that herself came through clearing. Do you want to introduce yourself as well, Kitty?
Hi, my name is Kitty. I'm from Coventry. I just graduated from the University of Leicester. I did my A-levels and then I came here through clearing and I've been here ever since and I just graduated.
Great, thank you very much. So we've got loads of information, support, advice and guidance on what you should be doing to help support any students on results day as we enter that clearing period. We've got lots of information. We will be recording this, so please do feel free to watch this back later. But also please do use the chat function. Do ask us any questions. I've got questions coming in on my iPad here, so if you do have any questions, please do send them our way. If you've got any individual specific questions about your own individual circumstances, we possibly won't be able to help with you this evening, so please do get in touch with us on study@le.ac.uk or contact us on 0116 373 6000 and we will be able to help support you if you have any individual queries. Without any further ado, I will talk through how we are here to help support you and support your students through clearing. So what is clearing? Clearing is something to support students and runs from the 2nd of July. So clearing is officially already open. It is the process that allows those that are looking for a university place to apply for courses and universities that still have places available. So you may be aware, you may be getting lots of adverts on social media to see that universities are already talking about places that they still have vacancies and availability on courses. So do check out those to see what's available. But this is the opportunity for you and your student to have a look to see what is available for and find anything that could be available for if things don't go quite the way they planned on results day. What is important to note is that students can apply for one course at a time per university, but actually we now see that students are able to shop around much more and collect clearing offers from universities as well. So if you have a student or you know a student that currently has their grades in hand, some of them may even be able to get a clearing offer today or right now. As I've mentioned, clearing has already started as of the 2nd of July. Handing over to Amy for the next section.
Thank you, Dan. So who is clearing for? So clearing is open to everyone, UK or international, a school leaver or mature student. And clearing is suitable for students who either don't get the results required for their firm or insurance choice, if they haven't received any offers or chose not to accept any of the offers for the courses they applied for, if they've changed their mind about where or what they wish to study and use the decline my place option on UCAS, or if they are already holding their grades. So there's lots of different routes that people use clearing for. It's not just because they might not have got the grades that they were hoping to get.
I think it's fair to say that clearing is perhaps historically seen as a bit of a taboo thing. And I think it's fair to say that there are so many hundreds of thousands of students that enter university through clearing. It is no longer that last chance saloon. So I think that's something that we really do want to re-emphasize today.
Yeah, and actually people sometimes use it because they might have done better than they expected and they decide to shop around and go to a different university to what they were holding a firm place with.
I think ultimately there's more power for the student, which I think is a really, really good thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So in terms of the clearing timeline, as I've already said, the 2nd of July was when clearing officially opened. A-level results day, we are 2 weeks away from A-level results day. I know that may send shivers down the spine for students that are particularly worried about A-level results or BTEC results, IB results, any qualification results. But the results date is a couple of weeks' time. But one thing to note is that all students are able to log in to the UCAS hub from 8 a.m. on the morning of results day. So no matter if a student has already collected their results, they've been into school or college, or they've had them. So actually, students will be able to find out pretty early first thing on that Thursday morning, whether or not they have got into their firm or insurance choice, or indeed be gone into clearing. So my first advice would usually be to, if you have checked before going into your school or college, make sure you do go into a school or college, get some advice from teachers and advisors if you see something you don't expect when you log into that hub at 8 o'clock. From 1 o'clock on results day, a student can put a clearing option onto the UCAS hub. So from 1 p.m, that is when a student is able to select a clearing choice. And then clearing actually is not just on results day. As I've mentioned, it starts on the 2nd of July, but it actually runs all the way through to the 19th of October. So actually throughout that time, there will still be universities and courses that still have places available throughout that time. So even if someone doesn't get a place on results day, there are still plenty of opportunities to gain a place at university up until middle of October.
Okay, so how to prepare with your young person for clearing. So ahead of results day, make sure to have a chat through different outcomes just in case, just to be prepared, because on the day it might be quite fast paced and you want to have all your options there laid out for you. So it's good to have those, take that time while you've got the time to have a chat through with your young person, be positive and supportive with them.
When it comes to doing your research, I think now is a really great chance to rethink about the next steps. Think about that just in case list. What happens if someone doesn't get the grades they're looking for? What happens just in case they do better than they've expected? As Amy said, it's not just for people that haven't got the grades they were looking for. Start doing that research now. As I've mentioned, universities are already listing their vacancies and course availability. Do that research now. And think about where someone might want to study. Think about the universities that you visited on open days, or perhaps had a bit of a long list that you've used on Unifrog, or you've done some research with in your schools and colleges. Think about universities that you were already thinking about. So go back to that initial list and start tonight and think about where would you be interested in going to at university in the autumn.
So you've had a chat and you've done a bit of research, and so next step is make a short list of perhaps their top 5 universities or courses that they would be interested in if on results day it turns out that they haven't got what they expected to get and they do need to go through clearing. You can make a note of the phone numbers and the courses and the entry requirements that those universities need so that you're ready on results day.
It's also important to think about the entry requirements. Courses will still have specific entry requirements. You may find that some of those entry requirements across the UK and on UCAS may differ slightly to what you may have seen when applying to main cycle on UCAS. You may think when it comes to results day, you may want to consider a foundation year. If, for example, you do not get those results you're looking for and you got lower than expected, there may still be an opportunity for you to study at the same university on a similar course, but do that extra year to do a foundation year to help get you up to speed to go on to the rest of the programme. So don't rule out that either, if that's going to be a really great route to get you onto that specific university course that you're thinking about.
And then finally, keep the day clear. So clearing is a very busy period, as we've said. So if possible, to be in the UK and maybe push your holiday a few days later, keep the results day and a few days following free, just in case you want to visit the universities that you've shortlisted or that your young person has called around and got some clearing offers for. And then you can make an informed decision about which university and which course is right for them on the day.
I think that visiting a university after you've been made a clearing offer is a really important thing. If you have applied to a university, been made a clearing choice, it's a good chance for you to see if you can really see yourself living there if you haven't been to an open day. And we are no exception to that at the University of Leicester. You can book onto a campus tour, or you can come to our accommodation open house if you are made a clearing offer, which will be taking place on the Saturday after results day, if you do want to come and visit the university.
And I think it's really important as well, because it helps students to get a real feel for the place that they are thinking about studying. I feel like it's a bit like when you see people on property programs and they say, oh, well, I want a place with a pool and I want a place with 5 bathrooms, but actually they might see a property and think, well, this just feels right and all my criteria has gone out of the window. So
definitely good advice.
Helps you get a feel for where it is you want to go.
Absolutely. So when it comes to Thursday the 13th, we absolutely know that nerves could be running quite high from both your student or indeed you and any people around them, family, friends, siblings, teachers, advisors as well. Do be there to offer them that help and support and be there for them without necessarily doing everything for them. Offer to go with them on into the school and college to pick up their grades, particularly if they've logged into UCAS, the UCAS hub, and seen that they haven't gotten to the choice that they were hoping to. But remember that the UCAS hub is open at 8 o'clock, but each of your schools and colleges might have different ways of releasing grades depending on their own internal rules. So some might say you can come into school from 10 o'clock. Others might send out an email with A-level results day or qualification grades. So do work out what is right, and if that you are going in, do be there to support your young person with them as well. Sometimes it can take time for decisions to appear, so don't panic if you see something on the UCAS hub or you don't get an email straight away from anywhere. If you haven't heard anything straight away, don't panic. You can always get in touch with an individual university or indeed UCAS on results day as well. As we were just saying, make sure you've got a clearing plan to hand. The just in case list is something that's going to be really important. Have a spreadsheet, have some notes in a notepad. Think about that original long list and short list and have that to hand just in case as well.
Okay, so on UCAS Hub, what kind of application statuses might you see? So UCAS Hub will update on results day from 8 AM, as we've said, and depending on their results, their application status will change. And there are 4 possible options. So one of those options is waiting for confirmation. One is placed at firm choice, placed at insurance choice, or in clearing, and we'll talk about what each of those statuses means. So waiting for confirmation, this means that UCAS are waiting for the university to let them know if the conditions have been accepted. So keep checking the hub for updates. If they meet the conditions of the offer, the university will confirm the place and the hub will update.
Keep an eye on the hub, basically.
Yeah.
If you see on the UCAS hub that you've been placed in your firm choice, great news. They're into their firm choice. They're firmly accepted at that university that is shown, and that is your time to celebrate. They have a firm choice and they are going to that university. Make sure that you do check details carefully of any application. The university will be in touch pretty much straight away, so do look out for that. If you do want to speak to the university, you still can do that as well, and we have our confirmation team on hand if you do have any particular questions about that, if you've got into Leicester as your firm choice.
So placed at insurance choice means they've been accepted at their insurance choice, as unfortunately the conditions of their firm choice haven't been met. But take the time to talk through how they feel about this option and the course. They don't have to accept this offer. They can contact the Insurance Choice University to discuss their options or apply somewhere else using clearing.
And then finally, I suppose something that we've been talking about already quite a lot this evening. If it appears on the UCAS hub, it says in clearing, it means they've neither made it into their firm or their Insurance Choice University, as they did not meet their conditions. They didn't get the qualifications that were required. This is where you really do need to take the time to talk through how they feel. For some of this can be a bit of a shock. We know it can be a bit of a shock to the system, particularly if someone was really expecting something that was going to go in a certain direction. Remember to review that clearing research and begin contacting the shortlist options. Hopefully you will have collected all the telephone numbers and contact details of those universities that you might have an interest in, so get in touch with those as soon as you can.
So there also is another option that might happen. So change of course. So if they log into UCAS Hub and find their chosen university has offered them a place on a different course, don't panic. This is not a fixed offer and they can choose to accept or decline this. And so why might this happen? A couple of reasons. So a change to the course itself, the start date or the point of entry, and possibly they didn't meet the condition of their offer, but the university wants to offer a place on a suitable alternative. And so what we will do at Leicester is, if the conditions aren't met for the course that the applicant has applied for, we'll always look for another option for them. We would rather that we found another suitable option rather than reject them. So we will always try and find something suitable, or we might offer a foundation year instead.
So in some scenarios, some students can choose to decline my place. By doing so, if they already have a firm or an insurance choice, they will cancel that place and they can enter clearing themselves and look for courses. I would actually recommend that if you are deciding to decline your place, if you have a clearing offer, make sure you have that clearing offer before you decline that place. You want to make sure you're 100% certain that you no longer want to take that offer. On the UCAS Hub, it will give you a few are you sure reminders before you click OK to decline my place. But as we were saying earlier, the power is in a student's hand. If we know that at this point in young people's lives, they can change their mind, they may want to change their mind, and they may not want to go to either their firm or their insurance choice. So that's why they can choose to decline their place and enter themselves into clearing and find a clearing offer that might be more suitable for them. So that is absolutely fine. But I would really strongly recommend that a student doesn't decline their place until they have a clearing offer in hand and they are 100% sure they don't want to take that place.
Okay, so phone call preparation. So before they jump on the phone, take a moment to gather some key bits of information. So one of those is the UCAS ID number. So you'll need this on the call so that the call handler can enter it and look at the student. What course they would like to study, so have an idea in mind so that will speed up the call. What qualifications they have and their grades so that we can check that they have met the entry requirements for the course that they're interested in. And it's also useful to have GCSE grades for some courses, as there might be a GCSE requirement in addition or instead of an A-level requirement.
Now, in terms of the phone call, at Leicester, our phone lines will be open from 7 a.m. on results day. And a reminder of that phone number there, which is 0116 373 6000. We will also be taking calls and we'll also be taking WhatsApp messages on the day. So if you do want to chat to us, not necessarily on the phone, you can talk to us by WhatsApp. An important thing to note is that we do need to speak to the student on the call, first of all. Whilst we are always happy to talk to a parent, friend, teacher, cousin, whoever, we do need permission, express permission of that student on the phone first of all. Now, we know that sometimes students might be upset, they might be stressed, but if we can just get the affirmative nod before we speak to any other family member or friend or whoever, we just do need to speak to them first of all to get their permission. We don't want you to panic if there is a short wait time when you are calling. Across the UK and on results day, phone lines can get a bit busy, but at Leicester, we are in a fortunate position that we've got lots and lots of people ready to take your calls. We've got a huge call centre operation ready to take your calls on results day. And actually our call handlers will be able to advise over the phone if we can offer a place. And if you do meet the eligibility criteria of our courses, we would actually be able to make an offer on the phone when a student calls up. They don't need to wait. They would get an offer pretty much straight away.
So after the call, so if we can offer a place, we'll confirm the offer via email straight after the call, and all the details will be in the email of the course that's been made an offer for and the next steps that are required. They will also receive a follow-up call from one of our subject specialists, and they'll be able to answer any questions they may have about the course, and they can also answer questions about the university as well. The offer will need to be added by them from 1 o'clock on UCAS Hub. So that's when UCAS Hub opens, as we mentioned before, on results day, and that's the point at which they'll actually be able to add that clearing choice. Students will have to accept the offer on UCAS Hub after that time. Some courses will require an interview, and if this is the case, we'll explain this over the phone and we'll email all the required information.
So some words of advice. Do remember, as I've said, it is okay for students to change their mind. We know that lots can happen in a short amount of time, so it's absolutely fine if a student wants to change their mind. And right now, there are more and more options for a student to change their mind and as I was saying, they can decline a place, be that their firm or insurance choice. They can change their course, they can change their mind. There is lots of things that can happen. If things don't go the way they planned, all is okay. Like, we are here in the university, and there are lots of universities all over the country ready to support students, so do not panic. Remember, if you do need us, even if you have got into your firm or your insurance choice, you can contact us on 0116 373 6000. You can actually sign up on our exclusive email updates on le.ac.uk/clearing. You can also contact us by email on study@le.ac.uk. And as we were talking about earlier, it is possible to visit us before or after clearing as well. One thing that's really important that I always like to mention is that we do offer guaranteed accommodation, even if you've come through clearing at the university, as long as you apply by the 1st of September. So it's something, if you do want to stay in university managed accommodation, that is a possibility at the University of Leicester as well. So that's our information, our advice and guidance on how to support a student through results day. Now's your chance to ask us any questions, but I suppose, but first of all, I want to bring Kitty in and give us a bit of an overview about your journey through clearing. You talked about coming through clearing to get university. Can you give us a bit of an overview about what happened on results day for you a few years ago?
So I did my A levels and then I came in for my results. I did open my UCAS hub earlier on, so I knew I didn't get in. And then obviously I went and found out what my results were. It was a very stressful moment, and being as young as I was, it was like, obviously now looking back at it, I know that I could have been a bit more calm about it. But back then I was really stressed, and my mum was also a bit stressed. So I was like, okay, where do I go from here? And because I knew about clearing beforehand, I decided, let me call the university that I really want to go to, which was Leicester. So it was my first call. And because I had prepared like my notes of, okay, I know what the number is. I looked on their website, saw if I could get in, and then I spoke to the call handler. They were amazing. And they said, we can offer you a place. So that's basically what happened.
So you said that you'd done your pre-planning beforehand. What was your process before results day?
I think I always knew that like if what I was doing wasn't working out, I had to have some sort of plan in place. So I looked at different universities that I wanted to go to, ranked them. To be honest, the advice that you gave was quite literally what I followed. So I ranked them according to what I thought would be the most best university that I wanted to go to, why I wanted to go there. And then I had about 5 in mind. And then I also wrote down all the numbers, and I also had all of the websites open beforehand so that on the day of I could literally just open it and then I could call them. So that was kind of my preparation beforehand.
And did you end up going into school to get any advice, or did you kind of do this pre-going back into your school?
So I went to school first, and then I got my results just because I needed to know what grades I had to then decide what I wanted to do. And I didn't really speak to the teachers, to be honest with you, because I felt like I had a plan in mind of this is what I wanted to do. And also I think I was just in a bit of a rush. I was like, I just want to get in the car and just ring them like right now. So I was like, I'm not going to speak to anyone. I'll just go to the car. And then that was what I did. So.
And in terms of when you phoned up clearing, can you remember much of the conversation? Can you remember how it went?
I think the biggest thing I remember is how reassuring she was. It was like, obviously they understand that you're a teenager who wants to just get into university. So the way they were kind of handling the whole conversation was very much like they were very calm, and then I was very like panicked. But because of their ability to stay calm throughout the whole situation, it helped me kind of stay calm too. Kind of grounded me, I guess. And then they were very reassuring. So it was kind of like, don't worry, we'll figure it out. We've got a plan. And we'll figure out what we can do for you. And then we went through the different options, and then I ended up doing what I did. So yeah.
And did you go into university accommodation when you came to university?
I did not.
No. What did you commute? Did you move into into the city, or?
I decided to move somewhere by the train station, so I decided I'd be a bit closer to the city. But to be fair, University of Leicester is not far from the city. It's a 10-minute walk. But I just decided in the time that I decided that I'd rather just go private. But
No,
yeah,
that's
I was offered accommodation.
yeah.
I just didn't want that one.
I think that's a really important point. Whilst you don't have to come to university accommodation, we do have that offer, that guarantee of if you do decide to come in, we've got till the 1st of September if you want to apply to university accommodation as well. A question that we've had come through, Amy, hopefully you can help with this one. Can my son still get a place in clearing if he's still waiting for any GCSE results?
So if you're waiting for GCSE results, it depends on what the requirements are for the course. So if you are waiting for GCSE results, what we can do is take the details and then if the GCSE that is being, if it's all GCSEs, then you might need to call back another day and then we can make the offer with the GCSE results in mind. But if the GCSE results aren't actually needed for that clearing offer, then we can make the clearing offer and then you can send in the GCSE results after a little while once you've actually got those in.
So what is really useful, I think, for our clearing call centre, we give the opportunity for students to talk with a subject specialist in the afternoon. Kitty, do you remember that or is that a bit of a blur from
You
your?
know what? I feel like I did have a call. It's not like the best in my memory. Obviously, it was 4 years ago, but I do remember having someone call me after, asking me if I had any questions about the course. And yeah, so I do remember having that call.
And Amy, perhaps can you give us a bit of an overview about the types of things they might talk about in that call with an admissions tutor?
Yeah, so the admissions tutor will be able to talk through the course content. Obviously, if it's not the course that you were originally thinking you might go to, then you might be really interested in knowing what kind of modules are, how much coursework there is, what kind of seminars and lectures and the mixture of the types of learning that you will have in the course, what the assessments are, and also any kind of things like study abroad opportunities or with industry opportunities, and then general things about the university as well.
Great. And someone's also asked, we touched on it in when we were doing the presentation. What if they've already accepted a place at another university, but they've changed their mind? Can you talk us through the process on that?
So if they are holding a place with another university, they can still get a clearing offer with us or with anyone, but they would have to then release themselves into clearing. So do the decline my place before they'd be able to select us as their clearing choice. But based on their results, we can certainly make a clearing offer as long as they are eligible based on the entry requirements. But yeah, to actually select us as the clearing choice, they then need to decline their place, which comes back to what you were saying earlier about making sure you've got that place in hand before actually using that decline my place option.
Very good advice. And Kitty, once you had confirmed you got your clearing place, you then accepted on the UCAS hub, what were your next steps in preparing for life at university? Can you remember that far back? What sort of planning or preparation you did?
I did look at the course afterwards as well, kind of looked through what the modules were, and then booked my accommodation, obviously did that. And then I looked around at the city as well, just saw what I could kind of do, any activities that I liked. And then I started just shopping because I knew that I was going to move out. So it was kind of just preparing things that I think I'd need for eventually moving out.
Great.
So did your disappointment on results day quickly turn to excitement once you'd kind of knew that you were safe and you were through with your clearing offer?
100%. I mean, University of Leicester was always my dream university. So it was like, it wasn't even like a thought in my mind of, oh, I'm sad. No, as soon as I heard that offer and they were like, yes, I was like, ah. So it was great. Honestly, yeah, no, that sadness because I knew I had something in place, and I knew it was like where I wanted to end up anyway. It was like perfect timing. So it just worked out.
So we've got lots of people on the session today that will be supporting a young person or a student onto results in a few weeks' time. If you had one piece of advice for them on how they could support their young person, what would have helped you, do you think, if you had some of your support network on the day?
I think the biggest thing is being able to stay calm. I know that's not hard when you know your child is going, or whoever it is that you're supporting, they're stressed out. It's kind of hard to not reciprocate those emotions. But I think the biggest thing is being able to stay calm and having a clear plan in your head. obviously I had a plan, and like my parents are very supportive the whole way through. But sometimes when they're stressed as well, it makes you more stressed because you're like, oh my gosh, everyone's stressed. Whereas if you can stay as calm as you can to some extent, and just kind of reassure them through the whole process, because at the end of the day, like if you don't get your results, for example, like myself, it was it's a hard situation to be in as a student where you're kind of like, I didn't get into where I wanted to, like I feel like I failed. But when you have that right support system where they can kind of be like, no, it's okay, we'll figure it out, it makes you feel a lot more calmer. It just makes you feel like, you know what, we'll figure it out together. And when you kind of know you have that support system in place, it makes the whole process a lot easier. So I'd just say stay calm, and also be aware of the plans that your kind of student has in place, and just make sure that you also have that plan prepared in mind as well.
I think that was something that really helped me. So Leicester was my insurance choice when I came to university, and my family were really calm about it and kind of said everything happens for a reason. And
Yeah.
that was something that reassured me. I felt like I hadn't let anyone down or anything because I didn't quite get my grades for my first choice. But in the end, I'm so glad I didn't get the grades for my first choice. It all kind of turned out all right. So I think that staying calm is really important. Is there anything that would have helped you on results day, Amy?
Staying calm is very good advice, I think. And I think the preparation is really, really important. I think I would just reiterate that you've got time now to do that preparation and to get that list, to do the research. And then that if that does happen on results day, then you have a plan ready to go and to action. And you don't have to panic, do that thinking. You can actually take the time when you've got the time.
It helps you be on the same page too, because then, you know, you're not thinking, what is the student doing or what is my child doing? Like, I don't know their thought process, I'm not understanding it. But because you're on the same page, it's so much easier for you to kind of communicate, even if your child is too stressed to talk to you about it.
One bit of practical advice I always say is make sure you have your phone charged. If you are calling lots of universities, if you are perhaps being on hold with some universities as well, you don't want to make sure that your phone suddenly dies after you suddenly get through. So do think about the practical stuff as well as the emotional support side as well.
And I think also it comes back to what you said at the start, which is there's so many different reasons that people use clearing now. So it's not such I know that it probably in the past has been a bit of a kind of taboo subject, but actually some people just decide very last minute to come to university and they can do that through clearing. So it doesn't mean that in any way they have failed. It just might open a new door that they weren't thinking they were going to go through.
I think that's a really important point, actually. There might be some people on the session now, their young person might not have even applied to UCAS. So can you talk about the process for those that haven't got a UCAS application?
Yes. So if they haven't even applied to UCAS in this cycle, what we can do is still make a clearing offer, but we do what's called an RPA offer. So it's a record of prior acceptance. What we would do is take the details down and then we kind of make that UCAS application for them as part of the offer. So we take the details, and when we send the email to confirm the offer, that will send a form to them to fill in the details. Then we send that through to UCAS so that they can send it back to us with a confirmed offer.
So it just really does go to show that there are so many kind of choices and options out there, no matter your background. It is really something that we are here to support you with. Someone's asked, Kitty, I think more directed to you, how easy is it to fit on the course having come through clearing? Do you notice a difference?
I don't think you do, to be honest, because I mean, at the end of the day, no one really knows you're from clearing unless you say it. And I think the biggest thing a lot of people forget is you're all in the same boat. So everyone's just thinking, you know, I need to make friends, I need to fit in. It's a new experience for most people. So no, you don't really see that difference at all, to be honest. And even if when I told people, oh, I've come through clearing, it was like, okay, that's good for you.
There's no shame attached to it at all. No,
yeah, exactly.
There's several 100,000 students going through clearing every year in UCAS.
And also, it's the same degree at the end of the day. It's no different. You're not studying a different course. You're studying the same content as everyone else, and you come out with the same degree as everyone else.
And we find that our students, it does not kind of hinder their progress or the success on a degree. People that come through clearing just get as good and strong degrees as those that have come through their firm and insurance choice as well. You've just graduated yourself, and congratulations on your graduation. So you are living proof here that you can come through clearing. You can come through clearing and you can still graduate with a great degree as well. Someone has asked, my daughter already has a neuroscience and psychology offer from the uni. However, her first choice was medicine. So can she apply to medicine in clearing despite having accepted the neuroscience in psychology offer from University of Leicester? And this is also linked with, will there be clearing for the medicine course at the university? So Amy, perhaps if you can give a bit of an overview about medicine in clearing.
Yeah, so obviously, as everyone knows, medicine's a really, really competitive course at any university. So because it's so competitive, it's unlikely to have places at clearing, because we usually would fill them up from the applications in the main cycle. If we were to be in a situation where we had medicine in clearing and available to take places, then that would be on the university website on results day. If at that point someone wanted to change course to medicine, then we could speak to them about that. However, I would say it's because it's so competitive, it's fairly unlikely that medicine would be in clearing. But yeah, on the off chance that it is, we could definitely talk to someone about that.
I think that's probably very similar advice from most medical schools in the country.
Yeah, that's not just exclusive to Leicester.
No. So hopefully that answers your questions. Thank you for sending the question in. Someone has asked another question for you, Amy, with your admissions hat on. Can a student apply through clearing if they've already been rejected by that same course?
So if it's for the same course, then if they've been rejected from that course because of the grades that they got, then it would be unlikely that the course in clearing would be accepting people with those grades, because that wouldn't be fair for us to do that. If on the off chance the grades now somehow match, then potentially yes. But really the answer is no for that course, but we would be able to make an offer for a different course.
We do find every year on results day that we get students that may have declined us in main cycle, that they may have put another university as their first or their insurance choice, and then seen we've got some availability on our course and thought, actually, I do want to come to University of Leicester. And we do get quite a few students every year calling us up to say, actually, I would quite like an offer. I want to decline my first or insurance choice, or indeed if they've missed out on those and want to come back to us. So going back to what we were saying about that shortlisting, think about those that you have declined in main cycle, where you have 5 UCAS options. So do think about revisiting those ones as well. Another question from here. So if someone gets a clearing offer on results day, and then they're able to put it onto the UCAS hub from 1 o'clock, do they have a deadline for accepting that offer? Do they have to do it immediately? Do they have to do it by the next day? Can you talk us through when the deadline is?
So the deadline for accepting a clearing offer or choosing us on UCAS this year. So if you were to get an offer on results day on the Thursday, then your deadline to accept that offer would be 4:30 p.m. on Monday, the 17th of August.
Great. So you don't have an immediate kind of deadline to make sure.
So you also have time then to come and visit the university on that Saturday, if that is something that you wanted to do before you make your choice.
As we were saying earlier, it is really important to try before you buy, and we understand and appreciate that you wouldn't necessarily buy a car without test driving it first of all. So we, to use another analogy, your right move one earlier. But yeah, we want to give you the chance to find out if this is the right fit for you as well. Kitty, did you come and visit after you had your clearing offer, or had you already come to an open day? Or
I hadn't actually,
no?
But I've visited Leicester a few times, so I have seen, the space and stuff. But I think more so the actual course itself was what really drew me towards Leicester, and also the facilities too. So yeah.
Great. So someone's asked a question, maybe which any of us can answer. How do we strike the right balance between helping and taking over our young person and their research?
I think it's a tricky one, because they're at that age where it can be really tempting to just do everything for them. But I think it's a case of remembering that they're going to go on this journey of university, and it might be the first time they've been away from home. And what better way to kind of ease them into that than kind of just guiding them and supporting them to take those actions themselves rather than completely take over and do all the shortlisting. I think it's fine to do research for them, but obviously ultimately it needs to be their decision, and it needs to be the course that's right for them and the place that's right for them.
Was there anything that you found from your kind of local support that struck the right balance between supporting and being overbearing? Was there anything that you found was useful?
I think with my parents, they were very supportive in like me looking at different places that I can go to. And it wasn't like they were pushing me and going, you know, like every day, like, have you looked at these? Have you looked at these? But they were like, oh, have you looked into anything? And if I did, then, you know, they'd be like, they'd listen to everything that I'm saying, and they'd be like, you know, they're very understanding of like clearing wasn't a bad thing. But just in general, they weren't like pushing me all the time to kind of take the initiative, whereas they were like, you know, do it on your own time and your own schedule, I guess. And like, we're not going to push you to the point where you're kind of exhausted by us telling you again and again to look into it. And I think that gave me the freedom to really just sit in my own time, take my time and really do the research myself rather than feeling like I was under pressure to do it for someone else, if that makes sense. So kind of because they left me to my own accord, but they also guided me here and there, it allowed me to understand what I was doing on my own. And it just kind of helped me put a bit more independence into my application for then to when I was on the call as well, I was doing the call, which I know can be hard, especially when you're like quite anxious. But I think because I was taking on that responsibility of doing the call myself, it just made me feel like I was more in lead and like of what I was doing and like how I was talking to them and like expressing my emotions, whatever it is. So I think they were kind of just pushing me, but in a way where they weren't forcing my hand to do something, but like giving me that guidance of you should do this and do that.
And I think it's important kind of reassurance that the call handlers that we have, as you found with your experiences, we take pride in that we try and be as supportive as possible and understand the age of the person who's on the end of the phone. If I was on the phone, I'm obviously not a similar age to that person, but I understand that they are a young person who is about to embark on a very big decision. So we do take pride in trying to support them through that as best we can, and being understanding and taking the time with them, not rushing them through the call as well. So your young person will be on the phone with someone who will be supportive, and I hope that is reassuring for you.
And what we absolutely pride ourselves on is the fact we have students on the phones as well. And Kitty's going to be on the doing the other side of it and giving something back and being on the phone calls.
It's like a full circle moment.
And have you worked on clearing before? Is this your first time on clearing?
I have. Yeah. I did it with a different university, but it was a very similar experience. And it was really, really good, you know, especially because I understand their position from like 4 years ago. And it was quite nice to be able to reassure them in a way where I was like, I was in your position and I understand, and you know, like we're doing everything we can to like help you out. And it was really nice. It was a very nice experience.
Yes, yeah. And I think what is really nice is we can actually see students having some really life-changing conversations on the phones, and we've got amazing staff volunteers from across the university, people that typically their day job wouldn't involve making offers or supporting students. We get such great people coming back every year, and they are some of the nicest people in the university. Will be on the phones as well. So if you are calling the university, you are in for a treat to be talking to some really, really good people as well. So someone's asked, is there a chance to talk to someone about the course before my child accepts a place? As we mentioned in the session earlier on, every person that receives a clearing offer on results day will receive a follow-up phone call that afternoon from an academic or a colleague from the academic school, and they'll be able to talk through teaching, assessment, modules, course information, reading lists, trips, year abroad, everything that you can think about on the course, so you can actually find out and talk to them. Some academic schools do also provide the opportunity to talk to a student as well, so there is that chance for you to find out what life is really like at a university as well. So there is absolutely definitely a chance for you to talk to someone before your child accepts a place. Someone said what happens after the call. So as I've said, there's there is that. And from 1 o'clock on results day, student can put their clearing choice on UCAS Hub. And as Amy said, they will have until the Monday. Remind us of the deadline on the Monday.
4:30.
4:30 on the Monday before you have to accept that place. In some circumstances, it may be possible to extend that offer. So if you are still trying to make a decision, or you are visiting universities, whatever, do get in touch with us, and we may be able to extend an offer if circumstances allow as well. Someone said, is clearing only for those who didn't get the results they wanted? So we covered this in the session, but perhaps if you could do a quick headline stat.
Oh, it's about 30% of people who come through clearing actually haven't met their grades, but there is another 30% that, as we said earlier, have just decided last minute to come through, and another 30% who are just shopping around because they can take the opportunity to do that. So there's lots of different routes into clearing.
And I think that is something that we really do want to re-emphasize, that clearing is not just something that happens to somebody. The power is in the hands for your student, your young person as well. So do bear that in mind. And a student, if they so wish, could collect a number of clearing offers from a number of the universities on results day. They do only get one choice they can put on clearing on the UCAS Hub, but nothing is stopping them from getting as many offers as they like from universities. So I think that's the amount of questions. That's it on the questions that we've had come in today. A big thank you all for joining us. But I think one final question before we close. Kitty, what has been your favourite part of studying at the university? You're graduating this year. What's your favourite part of studying at the University of Leicester, or the City of Leicester?
I think the opportunities I was given. I think I've been blessed with so many different opportunities within the University of Leicester itself. Like being in a TV advert, or like different opportunities like this, being able to be a student speaker for open day, working the open days, and showing potential students around in the accommodations, answering any questions. I've been invited to loads of different photo shoots, alumni dinners. It's just been so amazing that like one opportunity that I had 2 years ago has branched into so many different opportunities. And I like how Leicester always wants to give back to their students. And I've had the time of my life here. And honestly, like I would recommend it to anyone. So I just think, yeah, everything that they've given to me is more than what I ever expected I'd get as a student. All these opportunities aren't something you kind of see on a daily basis, but I love just how much they're willing to give back to students, and all the part-time jobs they have to offer, and it's just like they care about you a lot, and I love that. I've been looked after so well. So there's not like one thing. I just think that the opportunities I've been given are insane, and like a lot of people are like, wow, like it's crazy how the university has provided that for you. So yeah, I think that is just amazing.
A lovely answer. Now it's slightly further back for us, Amy. But what's your favourite thing about studying at Leicester, working in Leicester, living in Leicester?
I am not from Leicester, and this is why I used the property show analogy earlier. Is I came to Leicester and I came to campus, and I just don't know. I don't really know why, but I just came to campus and I just felt really at home, and I still feel, and I haven't left, so I still feel really, really at home here. And for me, it's a kind of unexplainable thing. I just came here and it just felt right.
And I think very similar to me. I'm not from Leicester either. I moved here, and there's something intangible that you get to campus, and it does feel right. And what I love is that you can walk from one end of campus to the other. It takes about 5 minutes, and you can't help but bump into so many people as you go. We're so close to the city centre, the train station. We've got an amazing green park next to us, and it is such a surprise that I didn't know I was expecting it to be as great as it is, and this is where I've kind of set up my life 18 years later. And it is something, a really special place, and you find lots of people like me and Amy that stuck around. Despite what my mother thinks, I've definitely graduated. Like we stuck around, and you do find that there are a lot of students that will stick around in Leicester, or come and work at the university, or indeed boomerang back. And I think that is something that is really amazing. So a big thank you all for joining us today. Hopefully you found this useful. Hopefully we've been able to answer your questions. If we haven't been able to answer any of your questions, please do get in touch with us at study@le.ac.uk. You can, of course, give us a call on 0116 373 6000. Our phone lines are open, and as I mentioned on results day, our phone lines will be open from 7 a.m. till 9 p.m. We'll be open over the weekend after results day as well, so lots of opportunities for you to talk with us. A big thank you to Kitty for joining us, giving up her time, even though she's now graduated as well. So thank you for joining us, and thank you to Amy as well to bring her admissions knowledge to the fore as well. Thank you all for joining us. We hope the next few weeks go as stress-free as possible. Remember, we are here to support you if there's anything we can do to support. Thank you very much. Have a great evening, and we hope to see you at the University of Leicester very, very soon. Thank you. Take care.